here in love. Spirit is in this, Spirit is in this place. Spirit is in this, Spirit is in this place. Spirit is in this, Spirit is in this place. Raise the roof with shouts of praise. Spirit's in this place. We sing in celebration. We sing with words of prayer. We sing with words of prayer. We affirm our life as sacred. We declare that peace is here. Yeah, Spirit is in this, Spirit is in this place. Spirit is in this, Spirit is in this place. Spirit is in this, Spirit is in this place. Raise the roof with shouts of praise. Spirit's in this place. Spirit is in this place. Spirit is in this, Spirit is in this place. Spirit is in this, Spirit is in this place. Spirit is in this, Spirit is in this place. Raise the roof with shouts of praise. Spirit's in this place. We have come together as a family. We have come here as we are. We have come with arms wide open. We have gathered here in love.
I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. is. Appreciate it. Okay. So welcome, everyone. Welcome to the Ventura Center for Spiritual Living. I am Reverend Bonnie Rose. It is great to see you here. We probably don't have any online people yet, but when you come, we welcome you. And if you're watching it later on YouTube, we welcome you as well. This is a quick announcement. Kenny's been absent for a while. Kenny, I'm sorry. But he's back today. So let's everybody give Kenny a round of applause. Thank you. And now I'm going to go ahead and pass it to Rev Jennifer.
Good morning, everyone. I have a few announcements that was going on the slideshow before, so I'm just going to run through. We have classes coming up in July, so really quick. The first class that's going to start July 2nd, it's going to run for 6 Tuesdays, facilitated by Karen Mondragon, is called The Noble Purpose. It's based on the book by Barry Heerman. It's a great practice of, you're going to go through some experientials, you're going to find kind of what you were here to find and here to do, and not what society has bound you into thinking you're doing. So it's a great way to reconnect with your center. The other class is Love in Action, a 5-week class facilitated by David Kerrigan. There he is. And this one, in this class, participants will study the why and how of developing and applying loving kindness, which compassion, joy, and peace through reading, discussion, and meditation. I kind of got caught up on the loving kindness. I guess that's the one I need. So I'll just show up for that week, David. So that they can more fully live as blessings to themselves and to the world, and that's priceless pricing. Noble Purpose, priceless pricing as well. The other class we have a 5-day workshop that's going to be facilitated by Susan Burrell. So that's going to be every day, Monday through Friday, from 6:30 to 7:30 p.m. on Zoom. And more information is on our website for that. And we have another workshop coming up in August, Sunday after service, the gift of forgiveness, based on the Ho'oponopono.
Ho'oponopono? Ho'oponopono?
Okay, yep. That's what she's here for, just because I can never remember how to say that.
That's all right.
But that one has a fee of $50, so it's another self-hypnosis workshop, so that's really great. The other thing that we have coming up in July is Building Appreciation Day. Yay! We really appreciate Grandma. We really so it's going to be a cleaning day, but it's going to be fun because you're cleaning with your friends, and that's what I always tell my kids, that when you clean with a friend, it's fun, right? So this is July 13th, starting at 10 a.m. Hopefully we're done by 1. I don't know. Karen Collins is running it. She's a taskmaster, so, you know.
Wild thing.
So bring your happy spirit. We'll find something. If you're like, I really don't know how much I can do, we'll find a place to fit. We have a couple different projects that we're going to be working on. Other volunteer possibilities is we always need help with hospitality. I know a lot of people that have jumped in after service to wash dishes and stuff, and God bless you. You're so appreciated, and I'm sorry if I haven't actually come up to you and said thank you, but thank you for helping. That's what we're here to do, is to help each other. So if you want to make that more formal, awesome. And if you want to just keep jumping in and doing dishes, that's great too. We can also always use some help with the tech team and the Circle of Blessings. We're going to have a busy summer this summer, so Circle of Blessings is probably going to need a little help with maybe meal deliveries and maybe some driving people to doctor's appointments and stuff.
What is the Circle of Blessings for our new folks?
Oh, for new folks, Circle of Blessings. So we have a group of volunteers that if anybody needs help with meals or with rides, or what else does Circle of Blessings do?
Like that, doctor's appointments.
Doctor's
meals.
appointments.
Yeah, support.
Any kind of support, really. Yeah. If you need help and support, we get you in contact with our Circle of Blessings group, and they do magic, and and they help and help you get the help that you need. So it's a wonderful group. Let's see. Oh, and if you have any questions about any of the volunteer opportunities, talk to Bernie. She's over here in the blue shirt. She's our volunteer coordinator. So now I'm going to hand the announcements over to Mary.
Okay.
And she's going to finish us up.
Okay.
Garrett, could you please come up?
Me and
Oh, well, that's good. Okay. A little while back, it was decided that we were going to have a choir room downstairs off of Martha's Hall where music could be stored and all sorts of things that go with the choir could be right at hand where we practice. And to do this, we had to have a lot of furniture moved. I could not do that. In comparison, Garrett and Liam volunteered to move heavy desks, to move filing cabinets from one level to another level. It was amazing what they did. And they actually did it with a cheerful heart, which, you know, they had such a good attitude, and it's really made it wonderful. We're going to have a great choir room downstairs, and to thank them, this is a little, I thought they wouldn't want flowers, so that's for Liam and Garrett, and thank you so much.
Thank you, Liam and Garrett. Yay! Thank you. You good? Okay. All right, so I have the extreme honor of doing the children's message this morning. So if we have any youth, would you come on down if you'd like? Nice. Oh, come on. And let's have, I need him to stand, okay? Let's have him stand up here. Okay. All righty. And would you, hi, Asher, do you mind, I'm gonna probably ask you to stand, so come up here and stand for just a second. Let's have, I'm forgetting your name. What's your name? Kayla? Oh my God. That's Kaya. Okay, close. Our singer's Kayla. So good to see you both. Thank you. So, no, that you stay. You be a child too. Okay. So, I forgot my props. Okay. So I've got a question. Good job, Susie. I've got a question for both of you. Okay. Do you think? Look at this piece of paper. Do you think that I could cut a hole in that paper that's big enough for either of you or me or Susie to go through? Not all at once, but one at a time. Do you think I can do that? Do you think that's possible?
What do you think?
Yes?
Can you do it?
Well, you've got faith, girl. Faith. Sure. Okay. So this is the biggest hole I could cut. Now, can you fit through that all the way, like your whole body, without tearing it? I don't think so. Right? We'll have you try the next one, okay? Because with a little ingenuity, sometimes we don't, well, let me back up. When we don't connect to spirit, we only see what we think is possible. But when we connect to spirit, there are bigger possibilities. So look what I made. Whoa. Oh my goodness. Now I'm going to try him first because he did the other one, but look at that. Can you go through all the way? Look at that. Yay. And can you step out of it so I can try it on Kaya? Okay. Okay, you're going to need to move your foot just a tad. Thank you. There you go. Do you want to try it, Kaya? Okay. Yay! Look at that. You did it. Okay. You want to step out of it? You go ahead and step out of it. There you go. Good job. Miss Susie, do you want to try it?
Are you want me to try it
Yeah,
too?
if you can. Yeah.
Now
Yeah.
let's see how this goes. I don't know.
I think you can do it. I think you can do it. Yay! Okay, so with possibility, with turning to a greater possibility, there's a lot of things that are possible, even when we think they're not possible. So I'm hoping that that helps all of us have a little more faith in the possibilities of God. What do you think? Is that a yes? Okay, good job. How about you? Yes? Good job. Thank you. Thumbs up. Yeah. How about y'all out there? Possibilities of God? Yeah, thumbs up. Okay, good job. Let's sing You Are the Face of God, because you are. You are the face of God. I hold you in my heart. You are a part of me. You are the face of God. Thank you so much. See you later. Okay. All right, let's have some prayer. Okay, people in the balcony can see that. Kathy's going to give us a prayer.
Hello, and the practitioners standing in support of this prayer, ministers, and anyone, practitioner, minister at home, stand. And just anchoring into this delightful, spirit-filled room, and just knowing that it is so good to know that God is here, God is just present and filling and full, and I'm just so grateful for that. I just know that the Spirit of God moves through me, the joy, the laughter, the freedom, the beauty, the peace, the love, all that is God, I am one with. And as I know that I am one with this, I know that each and every one of us here are one with the love and the beauty and the joy and the freedom and the possibilities that are just streaming through us. And I know that today's message is blessed. I know that as we are here with open hearts and open minds, that we are just so inspired by the words of Reverend Bonnie, that we are inspired by the music, by just the love and the light that surrounds us, knowing that this inspiration that we receive, we take with us and hold true and bring with us into our worlds and into the ripples that are developed through all of what starts here today. And I am just so grateful for that. I am so grateful for the love and the joy and the beauty and the freedom that just surrounds us. And with a heart full of gratitude and joy, I release these words out into the law, knowing they are so. And together we say, so it is.
Thank you, Kathy, for that beautiful prayer. Let us continue to breathe deeply and anchor into the presence, the wholeness of spirit, the love that we are. We relax into our bodies, into this present moment, and we listen to the words of our sacred reading.
Why do you stay in prison? Adapted from an article by Tina Saxena. What a great name, huh? Tina Saxena. Jalaluddin Rumi is widely revered as one of the greatest poets in the Islamic tradition. His wisdom on love, self-transcendence, and finding inner freedom continue to inspire readers around the world. Rumi wrote, "Why do you stay in prison when the door is wide open?" This profound quote contains a powerful metaphor about self-imprisonment and internal freedom. By analyzing the symbolism, we can unpack the deeper meaning of the prison that binds us as none other than self-imposed limits, those limitations we impose on ourselves mentally and emotionally. Our mindset and beliefs can confine us even without physical walls or bars. Fears, doubts, and assumptions keep us stuck in narrow spaces and prevent us from realizing our potential. The door symbolizes the opportunities and choices we always have to break free from self-limiting patterns. At any moment, we can step across the threshold into greater self-awareness, possibilities, and joy. The door continually stands open, and we can walk out into freedom if only we become conscious of our self-imposed confinement. Once we become aware of the ways we have confined our minds and lives, we can dismantle these prisons, which in any case are totally illusory. We hold the keys to our liberation. Here is the full Rumi quote. Be empty of worrying. Think of who created thought. Why do you stay in prison when the door is so wide open? Move outside the tangle of fear thinking. Live in silence. Flow down and down in always widening rings of being. And so it is.
And so it is. Thank you. Thank you, Hugh. All right. Let us continue to breathe deeply, to allow ourselves to be in those ever-widening rings of being. And how wonderful to know that as we sing together, that our voices create vibration, and vibration are sound waves. They're like ripples. So our song ripples both inwardly and outwardly. That as we remember who we are, that others remember who they are. And if they can't, we remember for them. So let us sing this song, I Am Remembering Who I Am, to ourselves, people sitting in this beautiful sanctuary, but let us also reach beyond the walls of this sanctuary to the entire cosmos, so that we all may remember. Together we sing, I am remembering who I am. I am remembering who I am. I am remembering who I am. I am in the power and the beauty of that divine remembrance. Let us breathe in deeply. And then exhale, gently opening our eyes as love, in love, and in service to what is, as it is, and so it is. Namaste. Thank you. Thank you.
me see a world with clouds. Take me to the world, out where I can push through crowds. Take me to the world, a world that smiles with streets instead of eyes, where I can walk for miles with you. Take me to the world that's real. Show me how it's done. Teach me how to laugh, to feel. Move me to the sun. Just hold my hand whenever we arrive. Take me to the world where I can be alive. Let me see the world that smiles. Take me to the world, somewhere I can walk for miles. Take me to the world with all around things growing in the ground, where birds that make us sound are birds. We shall see the world come true. We shall have the world. I won't be afraid with you. We shall have the world. I'll hold your hand and know I'm not alone. We shall have the world to keep. Such a lovely world will weep. We shall have the world forever for our own.
Thank you, Kayla and Chris. What a beautiful song about freedom. Thank you. So my question for all of you this morning is, how free do you want to be? On a scale of 1 to 10. Okay, Nick wants to be very free. Awesome. How free do you want to be? And do you realize that we have a choice about how free we want to be? Interesting. This little stinker on? Okay. Oh, okay, here we go. Okay, I'm going to start with a story by Ram Dass. He looks very much like a flower child there, doesn't he? He kind of was in that era. For those of you who may not be familiar with Ram Dass, he was, oh, there he is. He's in our choir loft at the end there, right behind Nipun and Thich Nhat Hanh. And, talk about diversity. Ram Dass refers to himself as a Hindu, okay, because he was raised Jewish and he studied with a Hindu teacher. He's also a either gay or bisexual man who is in a wheelchair. So he covers a lot of bases there. He had a stroke at one particular age. Anyway, Ram Dass tells this story about, it's a parable, about this time on a Japanese subway. And this man came barging into it when the doors opened, and he was incredibly drunk. Come on, he was drunk. He was very, very, very drunk. And he was drunk and disorderly. He was pushing people out of his way. He kicked a young student who had a bunch of books in his hands, and the books went everywhere. He pushed a woman who almost fell down, and she was holding a baby. Fortunately, nobody was hurt, but the entire train wandered to one side and huddled there in fear. There was one person there that was a warrior. He was a martial arts warrior, and he thought, aha, this is my chance. This is my chance to show this drunken stinker who's boss. So he prepared to fight. He prepared himself mentally and physically to fight. And as he was just about to draw his weapon, a little old man sitting on one side of the train who had not retreated to the other side said, hey, dude, or the Japanese equivalent to that. What you been drinking? And the drunk goes, sake. What's it to you? And the guy goes, I love sake. They started in this conversation about the merits of sake, Japanese rice wine, for those of you who are not, luscious. No, I'm kidding. Sorry. They started talking about the merits of sake. And at one point, the elderly man said, I love to sit in my backyard with my wife and drink sake. The drunk started crying. And he said, my wife died 3 days ago. That's why I've been drinking. So I ask you, which one of those three expressed the most freedom? The drunk was clearly under the influence of his pain and sadness and perhaps alcohol as well. The warrior perhaps was consumed with rage and self-righteous indignation about that such a thing could happen. I think the elderly man was connected to freedom itself, in that he recognized that there might be a bigger situation than was going on before him, in front of him, and he connected to an infinite power that gave him something healing and soothing for the good of all to use to address the present moment. And that's what I want for all of us. Because in this denomination, we teach this is a compilation of Ernest Holmes quotes. We say that we believe in complete emancipation from all discord. The divine plan is one of freedom. Freedom is the birthright of every living soul. Freedom is the birthright of every living soul. The divine plan is one of freedom. In our longing for freedom, that is simply an echo of the truth about who we really are, of the truth of God is, and we are one with God. So it's a truthful echo of the idea that we were made to be free. We were made to be happy. We were made to be free. What happened? Probably free will. So the question again I have for you this morning is, how free do you want to be? How free do you want to be? And are you willing to do the inner work to be as free as you want to be? The work towards freedom may be surprising. It may actually involve changing ourselves instead of changing the world out there. How much infinite creative energy are you willing to receive? A little or a lot? A couple weeks ago, I spoke about, how big is your container to receive the creative infinite source that is God, and I was talking about thimbles, right? It could be a thimble, or it could be just a pipeline receiving it in. How much infinite creative energy are you willing to receive? So now, a moment of truth. You may want to take a moment just to contemplate. Well, let's do this together. Just take a moment and turn within. And see if there is a situation, whether it's external or internal, see if there is a situation that feels like it's binding you, feels like it is not allowing you to express as much freedom as you would like to express. Take a moment just in your mind to name that situation. You don't have to tell anyone. I'm not going to make you say it out loud or invite you to say it out loud. Just take a moment to name that situation. And then if you would, take a moment to look at your thought about that situation. Maybe your thought is, this is impossible. This is too big for God. This is too big for the universe. This is too big for the cosmos. Nothing like this has ever happened before. This is reality, and I'm stuck here. Take a moment just to bear witness with non-attachment to your thought. Kind of like you're watching a little TV show or something. You're just watching this person that looks an awful lot like you, struggling with something. And then shake it off and come on back to the room. Often, the cause of bondage, whether it's internal or external, is fear and ignorance. In the Rumi quote, he said, "Be empty of worrying. Think of who created thought. Why do you stay in prison when the door is wide open? Move outside the tangle of fear thinking. Live in silence. Flow down and down into always widening rings of being or possibility." Another way of saying that is, if we are bound internally, it's our fault. Sorry. That's a little blunt. Sorry. You have to be like never mind. I'm not even going to explain why I said that. Okay, so the main point of that is that we feel that we are bound by what is outside of us, but it's really our thought about it that binds us. So we'll move into exploring that a little bit. Judgment is a telltale sign of fear and ignorance. This thing of the sorting bins represents to me the binary operating system of the brain. Because we are human animals, we are made to discern what is good for us or what is bad for us, what is for me and what is against for me. And we go through our lives putting those categories into different sorting bins, saying this is bad, this is good, this is for me, this is against me. And sometimes we get carried away. Sometimes we get carried away and we fail to see the shades of gray that are inherent in all of God's infinite possibilities. Is it okay to judge really bad stuff? Every time I do a talk like this, people talk about, well, what about, abuse or child abuse or spousal abuse or abuse of anybody or, discrimination, injustice, slavery, all of those things. And, I have been thinking a lot about that this particular week because of Juneteenth, thinking about the liberation of the slaves on Emancipation, 2 years after the Emancipation Proclamation. Sorry, Texas. Okay. Anyway, what happens in the world and this working on ourselves is not an excuse for indifference. We are not indifferent to the suffering of others. And at the same time, we don't necessarily know what's going to happen. We invite ourselves to refrain from allowing the future, our future predictions, to destroy the present. I got that from an article that was sent to me by one of our congregants about Stoicism and how many people are tense about in this election year, and are we predicting dire predictions for either candidate? Do we need to let the future destroy the present? And as we let go of our inner process, we create space for faith and well-intentioned works and the Holy Spirit that knows a bigger picture. So, for example, that monk in the story, the old elderly man in the story about the Japanese train, he had the faith that there was a bigger picture, that there was a bigger possibility for this scenario. He also did the work. He did the boots to the ground work of sitting there in his truth and asking the guy, starting a conversation, "Hey, what you drinking?" And then he found a place of compassion because the whole of spirit, the wholeness of spirit, moved him into this place of deeper reconciliation that brought him to a place of deeper understanding where the compassion could flow. And I see that possibility for all of us. And one of the things that we teach in this center, do what you want to do, but one of the most powerful things that we can do is to lead by small acts of inner transformation. Lead by small inner transformations. We notice where our thoughts impede our freedom, Not necessarily the external conditions, that's important too, but also take it to that place of understanding where our thoughts are impeding our freedom, where our thoughts are getting in the way. Really clear thought about our thoughts getting in the way is that this is not reconcilable. There's no possibility here. But you saw what I did with that paper, right? Not everybody was here, but I had I had a little piece of paper this big, and I asked if I could cut a hole in it. This is for the children's message, right? And there were children that were smaller than me, and I made a hole in this piece of paper that was as big as the paper would take, and nobody could fit through it. However, I discovered a new way to cut the paper, so that anybody could fit through it, including me. I'm not going to do it right now. Okay, so there you go. There's my thing. That's so fun. I don't really get to do that much at home, you know? So what thoughts are you impeding your freedom? With the paper situation, it's an object lesson in saying, wow, this is impossible. There's no way to cut that paper so I can fit through it. And maybe there's a situation in your life, a situation of lack or death or disease or social issues. Maybe it seems like there is no way to express freedom. But what if God really is infinite? Infinite and intimate. And God is here for the greatest good for all beings everywhere. Yes, there is an arrogance to arguing for limitations. It's making the ego God. It's the ego saying, yeah, I know that this is impossible. I know that we can't do this. I know that I have to be bound in this situation. I know that you have to be bound in this situation. The ego loves to argue for limitations. But if we can rise up out of that, we see brand new possibilities. And I ask you, will you sink into the quicksand of race thought? Race thought is human race consciousness. And I was working with a teacher recently, and she was talking about, oh, wait, I'm not there yet. Hey, never mind. Okay, I'm going to go back to the slide. Sorry. I got kittens yesterday. I'm a little frazzled, okay? Got 2 kittens. Yeah, they're really cute. Okay, race thought is this bandwidth. And all of the humans agree that that's reality. It is collective, limited thinking. It's a lot like quicksand. It sucks us in. That's a picture of me in quicksand wearing a dog cone on my head. We had a practitioner here who passed away, Linda Dye. Linda Dye is famous for saying we're all animals, according to she was a scientist. But another thing that Linda Dye taught me is that she was in quicksand one time. She was a scientist, and she went out in nature. And she said, what you need to do in quicksand is that you can't struggle. You can't struggle. You need to relax. Everything in your body screams, struggle, struggle, struggle. I need to get out of here. You need to relax and let go. And then do the gentle work of changing our mind to I can't get out to I can get out. And then actually doing the physical work of getting out. When we relax and let go, we go both up and down. We move into holiness, the holiness of spirit that longs to express its infinite possibilities, that longs to express its freedom through us, and then we also have this embodied experience. Can you think of freedom? Think of reaching up to freedom. And just breathing in and feeling that essence of freedom that is around us all the time. We could do anything in this room. You can do anything on this earth. And then see if you can also feel it in your body. Some of your body, some of your cells remember infinite freedom. I would assume a lot of your cells, a lot of your body remembers infinite freedom. See if you can move in there and feel this simultaneous experience, the dynamic tension, which is a beautiful thing, giving rise to a third force. See if you can feel the dynamic tension of the holiness of spirit and the embodiment of that holiness. And allow what is to be in its own time. Come on. This is both inner and outer work. In the outer work, we right the wrongs and we lift everyone up. That's a friend of mine paraphrasing Martin Luther King. And yes, there is an inner focus as well. But, as you know, from one of my favorite verses, when the inner becomes the outer, etc., then we shall enter into the realm of heaven. When the inner becomes the outer and the outer becomes the inner, it's really one, folks. It's not one, it's not inner and outer. It's both. It's both. And what we have most control over is the inner situation. And so we look at where we are blocking our own freedom. And we do the work. We do the work, the conscious labor of changing that. Will you be the drunk, the warrior, or the old man? Will you be the one that is addicted to pain and sadness and taking it out on the world? Will you be the warrior who is self-righteous and angry and acting from that place? Or will you be the old man? Let's call him the wise man, the wise person. Will you be the wise person who taps into the energy of the wholeness of spirit and brings it into the body so that the highest and best for all can be done, can be accomplished? Again, we change our thinking to become free. We avoid the quicksand of worrying, paraphrasing Rumi. We think of who created thought. Who created thought is infinite possibility. And then again, why do we stay in prison when the door is wide open? We are the door. Our thought, our heart, our beingness, our willingness to connect to the infinite and intimate. That's the door. And we move outside the tangle of fear thinking in doing so, and we live in inner stillness and silence, flowing down and up in always widening rings of being. Can you imagine your life right now flowing into widening rings of being? Kind of like when you toss a pebble in a pond and you see the rings go out and out. That's ripples. That's ripples. The ripples of inner work are profound. We can be like that wise person on the train. One thing to do is to free the self from judgment. Sometimes we judge ourselves in this teaching because we feel like, okay, I've got this situation going on in my life and I must have done something wrong. It's not only this teaching, it's a lot of different teachings. It's the whole, that band of race consciousness, that quicksand of human race consciousness. There is a strong pull into that quicksand where we want to judge ourselves, where we want to judge others. And if we judge ourselves, we're judging others. And if we're judging others, we're judging ourselves. Ernest Holmes, our founder, said, "Your judgment judges you." Your judgment judges you. So we free ourselves from judgment by saying, whenever we see ourselves judging, we say, "Oh, wow, I'm judging. Wow, I'm judging. This is opportunity. This is an opportunity to do something else." Shut up. Oh, wait, I just judged her. Oh. Awareness of what we're doing in our minds is curative. That's where our healing power comes from, is from awareness and seeing where we might be out of alignment. Awareness is curative, and it's also the start of realigning ourselves to a greater good, to a greater truth that is good for all. We allow the influx of divine possibilities, that thing that knew how to cut the paper so that somebody could pass through it, so that it made a big enough hole for someone to go through. We allow for that influx of divine possibilities, and we will be surprised. We will be surprised. I've got news for you. You can't do it just once. Or you can, but it's much more effective if we do it frequently. It's much more effective if we see ourselves when we're in that quicksand of race consciousness, when they're in that quicksand of negative thinking or worrying or whatever it is we're doing to ourselves, when we're in that quicksand of judgment or ignorance about our true nature, or ignorance and judgment about the true nature of another person, no matter how bad they are, there is this beauty within them that is seeking to be risen up to greater possibilities. When we are in that quicksand, if we can rise up and have high-quality thoughts, but not only high-quality thoughts, high-quantity thoughts. So if you judge a lot, oh my gosh, you're in luck. Because that's so many more opportunities to turn to the truth, to turn to the infinite. Isn't that so cool? Wow. Pat yourselves on the back if you judge. Okay. Allow for infinite possibilities. And here's the last thing the second to last thing I want to say. God is both infinite and intimate. And I know I say that a lot, but I want to really explain what that means. God is infinite. It contains all possibilities. But the possibilities of God are designed, tailor-made for your life. tailor-made for your life in intimate yet infinite ways. I love cell phones so much. I'm sorry, Miss Carol. I could have just kept going, but I just love to dance to cell phone music. Okay. Anybody else got? Okay, never mind. Yeah, I realized that I dressed like a Mormon missionary today after I got here, and I have a slide of my guinea pig dressed up as a Mormon missionary. So there's that. You know, I dressed my guinea pig up as a Mormon, as one does, right? No? Okay. It's very strange. I might be too strange to be a minister, y'all. I think I'm just going to go take no, kidding. The reason I did this is that last week, and I meant to do it this week, but I forgot. I wanted to speak a little bit about my strange relationship with holidays. And last week I spoke about that it was Pride Month, and I so appreciate Pride Month, and I so appreciate all of the holidays, Asian Pacific Month, and Black History Month, and St. Patrick's Day, and Valentine's Day, Easter. Oh, let's don't forget all the Jewish holidays too. Juneteenth, right? Juneteenth. What? Purim, somebody said? Okay. Purim, okay. So do I have to keep up with all of that? Because it feels like a lot to me. And I'm not good. We don't celebrate holidays, really. And I was saying this, I was talking about a friend with this, and I was saying, you know what? This friend was Buddhist. I was saying, in your Buddhist wisdom, like, if you get to the other side before me, can you do something with my karma? So, like, maybe next time I can come back as a Jehovah's Witness? Right? Because they don't celebrate holidays and they don't shave their legs, which I could get down with that too, you know? So, good. Well, you're not going to believe this. I'm going around saying in my mind, I want to be a Jehovah's Witness. I want to be a Jehovah's Witness. This hasn't happened for 10 years, but guess who came to my door yesterday? Oh my gosh. And they were so apologetic because I have a sign about, you know, no soliciting. The dogs are sleeping. Don't wake them up. But they rang the doorbell anyway, and they said, we're so sorry. Because the dogs were barking. We didn't know we were going to wake up your dogs. We didn't see the sign till after we rang the doorbell. They were the sweetest young women. And I was like, you know what? Give me a pamphlet. So, I think perhaps, I don't know the religion well, but I'm looking into it. And I think from what I do know, the theology won't necessarily jive with mine. But I do like the part about holidays and hairy legs, you know, so there's that. I hope I did not reduce Jehovah's Witnesses to that. I'm sure it's a lovely faith. Anyway, so that's just a little story, a little allegory to tell us that our thoughts have power. But the other thing that I wanted to bring up, this tattooed arm, you know, so I was walking on the beach yesterday with my two rowdy dogs, and it was completely fogged in. And I was thinking, oh my gosh, this is such a metaphor for life, because I couldn't see where I was going. And we're in a time now where many of us cannot see where we're going. Yes, there is injustice. Yes, there is pain. Yes, there is suffering. And it's global. And there's a lot of things that seem to be happening that are disconcerting a lot of people. And the thing is that I noticed on the beach is that I was afraid that I was going to get lost on a beach that I've hiked for 20 years because I couldn't find my normal landmarks. I couldn't find my normal landmarks. And I couldn't see anything. It was like, you know, they call pea soup fog. And I found what I was doing, and I ended up seeing this young couple that probably had stayed out all night that were on the beach kind of smooching, and I saw them, and I smiled, and I walked by because they were sitting near where my car was. But I just was thinking, what a beautiful thing that was to go through that experience, but then also to ask the question, what are my landmarks? What are our landmarks? And I think that the landmark is the inner work. The inner work that we're all called to do. It's all slightly different. It's all infinite. It's all infinite. We're going to be working on ourselves all the time, but it's also so intimate. And so calling forth, what is mine to do? How can I alleviate suffering in this moment? How can I be that person that is the light and the shining beauty of God in this moment? Ask for that, and then trust what comes up. What came up for me was I went to a convenience store, and I was pulling up to get a rare treat that I don't really allow myself to have anymore. I was pulling up to get it. I was traumatized on the beach, so I had to have a Diet Coke, you know. So anyway, I was pulling up to get it, and I saw this cashier that I'm familiar with that was out there smoking, and I just went, oh. I judged her. And I was perfectly happy in my judgment because I felt she deserved it. So wrong. The But she deserved it because she made the heinous mistake of being rude to me one day and not paying attention to me when I was trying to talk to her. The wrath of God, people. Anyway, because I was working on this talk in my head and I had just lost all my landmarks, and I asked God for something that was mine to do in that moment, like that little guy on the Japanese train. I just said, God, show me what to do. I don't want to do it, but just show me what to do and I'll give it my best try. And so I went into the store and I was getting my stuff, and God sent a little angel. God sent an angel, the person who was in front of me in line. She stood in line and she had the most pleasant conversation with this woman. Of course, my first thought was like, well, maybe she just doesn't like me. Maybe that's it. But I was like, no, this woman is setting a great example for you. And so I decided to be assertively friendly with her. I went up, I said hello, I made eye contact, and then she had a lot of tattoos, so I asked her about her tattoos. And it turned into this whole amazing, beautiful conversation about how she had a bunch of tattoos, but she also had 4 children. And because I asked her if it hurt, she said, they don't hurt as much as childbirth. Who knew? I thought childhood birth was really easy, But never had one, so. But we had this beautiful conversation. I got to see her soul. And at the end, she said, thank you, sweetheart. I don't know whether she was talking about the Diet Coke that I bought, or whether she was talking about being seen and being heard and laughter with each other. I'll take any of those. It was a beautiful moment. And now I like her. Thank you. But it's, again, it's not about her. It's about doing the inner work and showing up to a greater possibility. And that's what I really invite all of us to do. The ultimate freedom that I have found in my life is service. Service, whether it's a big issue or a triviality, like the situation in the Circle K, commit to service, to being of service everywhere we go. Ask, what is mine to do in this situation? Like that guy in the subway. Ask, how may I alleviate suffering? Again, like that guy on the subway. And freedom, another name for the Holy Spirit, will find you and guide you exactly as you are, where you are, in an infinite and an intimate manner. And I'm going to close with a quote that I often use to bring me to that place of groundedness, but also lifting up, of going deep, but also going high. And this is Shantideva. If you'd like to close your eyes, we'll go right into prayer after I read this, okay? And here we go. May I be a guard for those who need protection, a guide for those on the path, a boat, a raft, a bridge for those who wish to cross the flood. May I be a lamp in the darkness, a resting place for the weary, a healing medicine for all who are sick, a vase of plenty, a tree of miracles. And for the boundless multitudes of living beings, may I bring sustenance and awakening, enduring like the earth and sky, until all beings are freed from sorrow and all are awakened. Whether it's large or small, whether it's something that seems trivial or something that seems intimate, whether it seems like too much or too little, let us go to that place where we rest and resonate, in that place where we know God is, where God's infinite freedom, God's infinite possibilities abide and exist within us. Let us also know that not only do these principles abide within us, they are us. Our longing for freedom, our searching for possibilities is all an echo of God. Even the ways that we get in the way of ourselves, our judgment or our fear or our ignorance of our true nature, even these are portals. They are calls to a greater way of being in the world. And so we celebrate those too. We celebrate those too without clinging to them. And we just trust that everything is conspiring for the greater good, no matter what it looks like to us. Everything is God. Everything is conspiring to wholeness, love, joy, peace. I know that as we move through life in this consciousness, that we see new solutions, we see new possibilities, we see new ways of being in the world, and we are the change that we wish to see. We see greater freedom, greater justice, greater love, greater happiness, greater abundance for all, a great lifting up of the spirit of humankind and the earth and animal kind, the cosmos, a great lifting up to this beautiful, infinite nature. We give birth to it through realization, through recognition, through understanding, and through action. And so from this place of great solidarity in spirit, from this place that is both high and deep, let us give thanks. We give thanks for the power and the presence of the living one that lives and moves and has its perfect being through each of us. We give thanks for the transformation that has occurred here in this collective, but also for each of us intimately and infinitely in our day-to-day lives. We give thanks for a healed world. We give thanks for healed relationships. We give thanks for beauty emerging in all things. I bless all paths to God, churches, synagogues, temples, mosques, ashrams, fundamentalists, atheists, agnostics. I bless all of them, all of us. And with a heart so filled with blessedness, I say, thank you, Spirit, thank you, love, and I release these words into the divine mystery. And together we say, and so it is. Thank you.
Thank you, Bonnie.
Thank you.
This is just such a wonderful place to practice being different in the world. And so I have to tell you, my bondage is judgment. And I got to work on that this morning.
Good.
Because I was really happy it wasn't my cell phone that went off. Sorry, Carol.
Poor Miss Carol.
I know. I was very relieved. And then this morning, I saw there was this cup of water behind the seat. And I was like, who would do that? So I threw it away.
Was it behind your seat?
Well, no, it was in front of Bernie.
Oh.
And it was her water.
Was it Steve? Oh, okay.
And she wondered where it went, and so I thought about lying. But I did check to see if she'd like me to get her another glass, but she gracefully said no. And I checked after I am remembering, and she was parched a little bit.
Oh,
So,
yeah, thank you.
gotcha, Bernie.
Yeah.
But this is just such a perfect place to work through our stuff because it's loving and kind, and we have humor in that. So I'm just so grateful that we can come together and have these life experiences in a safe and funny place. So thank you.
Thank you.
So this morning, as we prepare our offering, I just invite you to maybe laugh at yourself or others. It's your choice. So now we can do this together. I keep forgetting.
We
trust in spirit. Love is the giver and receiver of all that we are. We offer this gift. It is an outer expression of our inner abundance and compassion. Our gifts bless many and return to us multiplied in miraculous ways, so that we may give again. And so it is.
Thank you all.
Hello, there it is. I also want to clear the air about my giggle during the sermon. I was not giggling at Bonnie. I was giggling at myself because it literally came up in therapy and with my therapist a few weeks ago. She said, you exercise such grace and compassion with everyone else in your life except you. Why do you judge yourself so harshly? And I was like, oh, I don't know. Let's get into that. So that's why I was giggling. It was not at you. I'm sorry. Okay, this song was a fairly last-minute switch because I just found it so compelling that I emailed Bonnie 3 days ago, and I was like, can I please do this instead? I love this song. It is by Stephen Schwartz. So if any musical theater lovers out there know, Stephen Schwartz wrote Wicked, right? Big one. So if you listen, this was a musical he did about 10 or 15 years before Wicked. And if you listen, you can kind of hear a little bit of the Green Witch in there. So I hope you guys enjoy. I've got got an itching on the tips of my fingers. I've got a burning in the back of my brain. I've got a hunger burning inside me, cannot be denied. I've got a feeling that the Spirit who made us, when they were kindling the pulse in my veins, they left a tiny spark at that fire, smoldering inside. The spark of creation is flickering within me. The spark of creation is blazing in my blood. A bit of the fire that lit up the stars and brought life into the mud. The first inspiration, the spark of creation. I see a mountain and I want to climb it. I see a river and I want to leave shore. Where there was nothing, let there be something, something made by me. There's things waiting for me to invent them. There's worlds waiting for me to explore. I am an echo of the eternal cry of let there be. The spark of creation burning bright within me. The spark of creation won't let me rest at all until I discover or build on, uncover a thing that I can call my celebration. The spark of creation. The spark of creation. May it burn forever. The spark of creation. I am a keeper of the flame. We think all we want is a lifetime of leisure, each perfect day the same, endless vacation. Well, that's alright if you're a kind of crustacean, but when you're born with an imagination, sooner or later you're feeling the fire get hotter and higher. The spark of you hear it, right?
That's so awesome. So awesome. I'm not worthy. No. Well, we're here at the end of service again. So, yay us. And will the practitioners that are going to do 1 minute miracles come down, please? So that I have a phalanx of practitioners down here. So the practitioners are making their way down here, and I'm having them come down just as a visual. After service, our practitioners are here to pray with you. So if you have a spark of creation that you would like to explore, or anything from the talk that you would like to discuss, or something that's coming up in your life and you want to talk to a practitioner about it, they're here for what we call 1 minute miracles, and they'll pray with you. So that said, we have hospitality for everybody here in service and through these doors and these doors. So there's coffee and cookies and all sorts of stuff, bookstore, all sorts of stuff heading there. So if you're new, go check us out. And if you're online, thank you for staying with us online, and be sure to share, like, follow, all of those online things that you do. So with that, let's do our closing affirmation. All together. In every part of our lives, we are love, we share love, we serve love. Thank you for our lives, and so it is. And so it is. Namaste, everyone.